I had no idea that tonight's flight would turn into a nightmare. 10 minutes before takeoff, a stranger leaned toward me and whispered, "If you're smart, you shouldn't be on this plane." I laughed nervously, but his eyes, they were serious. And then, just like that, he grabbed his bag and walked off the plane. I thought it was over, until the plane started taxiing. Something told me he was right. And that's when the captain made an announcement that froze everyone's blood.
10 minutes before our plane took off, a stranger leaned toward me and whispered something terrifying. He said, "If you're smart, you'll get off this plane right now." I laughed nervously and asked him why, but the man didn't smile. He looked straight into my eyes and said, "Because this flight isn't going to end well." Before I could ask another question, he suddenly grabbed his bag and rushed off the plane. I thought he was crazy, but 20 minutes after takeoff, the plane suddenly dropped in the air. And that's when the captain made a shocking announcement. The captain's voice suddenly came over the speaker, and everyone on the plane went silent. He said,
"Ladies and gentlemen, we are experiencing a small technical issue."
but the way he said it made me nervous. The plane kept shaking slightly. People started looking around in fear, and I noticed something strange. The empty seat behind me, where the man who warned me was sitting, under the seat, there was a small black bag he left behind. And when the flight attendant opened the bag, her face turned completely pale. When the flight attendant opened the bag, she immediately closed it again. She quickly looked around to see if anyone noticed, but I was watching her. I asked quietly, "What's inside the bag?" She hesitated before answering. Then she whispered something that made my stomach drop. She said, "This bag doesn't belong to any passenger on this flight." And that's when the plane lights suddenly went out. The lights went out, and everyone started screaming. The darkness lasted only a few seconds, but it felt like an eternity. I could hear people panicking, and the flight attendants were struggling to calm everyone. Then a loud beep came from the black bag behind my seat. Everyone froze. I leaned closer to see what it was. And that's when smoke started rising from the bag. The flight attendant grabbed the bag and froze. She held it as if it were burning her hands. She whispered to another attendant, This shouldn't be on the plane." I tried to see inside, but the bag's zipper was strange, almost glowing faintly in the dark. Suddenly, a loud bang came from the cockpit. And then the pilot shouted something over the speaker that made my blood run cold.